The wonderful thing about being born human being is, compared to any other species, is we don't run fast, we're not strong, we don't see well compared to some species, but what we do better than any other species, which is why we occupy more ecological niches than any other species, is we learn. This is something that is called plasticity, and this is how you started off your life. The blobby bits are the neurons, the brain cells, and the stringy bits are the connections between the brain cells. And I hope you can see that the newborn, the 3-month, the 15-month, and the 2-year-old human brain is distinguished not by the growth of more blobby bits, of more brain cells, but the connections between them. So this means that even if you are a clone, that is to say an identical twin, you are going to be special. Why? Because you will have a special pattern of connections that in turn have been driven by your unique experiences in life. And this is what makes you the person you are. I've suggested this is the basis of the mind. Let me give you one example of how sensitive your brain is to the environment. And this wonderful experiment involved 3 groups of adult human volunteers, none of whom could play the piano at the beginning. Now, if ever you get to volunteer for such an experiment, let me give you a word of advice: don't be in the control group, because they just stared at a piano for 5 days. There was then another group, and they learnt 5-finger piano exercises. But there was a third group, and I'm going to keep them as a surprise as we look at the brain scans over 5 days of these 3 groups of adult human volunteers who started off all the same. So let's look at this. Look first at the control group. Over the 5 days, you're looking at their brain scans, and you can see that the brain is literally unimpressed. Literally unimpressed. But look at the people who learnt the 5-finger piano exercises. Can you see that even over 5 days, there's been a real change, a significant change in the amount of brain territory relating to the fingers? But the most exciting group, my surprise group to you, are the third group, because these people were asked merely to imagine they were playing the piano. Isn't that astonishing? And you can see that in terms of the brain, the change is the same. So the exciting thing, as someone once said, a man who developed a therapy for Parkinson's, he said, thinking is movement confined to the brain. Thinking is movement confined to the brain. And you can see here that even thinking, a mere mental activity, is literally changing your brain. So I hope, unless you've fallen asleep now, that already your brain is changing its connections. It changes its connections every single minute you're alive. And this is what makes you so special.